Do you ever lift your feet when you drive past a cemetery? Maybe tap the window or hold your breath at the sight of a headstone? Those quirky little habits come from old superstitions passed down through the generations. They're silly, but I still catch people doing them. Folklore claims that if you don't hold your breath, the spirits of the dead might mistake your exhale for an invitation and follow you home. Now, just to be crystal clear, I don't believe that, not even a little. I live and work at the Garden of Memories Cemetery, and if ghost following were a thing, I'd be the poster child for paranormal encounters. But nope, I've never seen one, never felt one, and I never will. Some people joke that I wouldn't notice if a ghost did tag along. After all, I'm already surrounded by headstones and history. But I can assure you, nothing of the paranormal has ever happened here. Not a single flicker, creak, or cold spot that couldn't be explained. Superstitions grow from fear, and I'm here to tell you, the dead are nothing to dread. It's the living with something to hide. They don't like when their secrets rise from the graves of their victims. But even still, I'm not afraid. I'm ready. So go ahead, take a deep breath, keep both feet on the floor, and get ready for a wild ride. Let's get curious. Welcome to Gravely Curious, the podcast where murder mysteries don't just start at the grave, they circle back around and kick the headstone. I'm your host, Jane Ladling, cemetery owner by day, amateur sleuth by accident, dater of a smoking hot special agent I will never ever discuss again, so don't even ask me for details. Seriously, do not even ask. I'm also a reluctant expert on all things suspicious. Well, mostly reluctant, bordering on exuberant. By my side is a cat named Rolex, who is judgy, dramatic, and absolutely convinced he runs this graveyard. Maybe he does. Now, you'd think managing the Garden of Memories Cemetery would be peaceful. You know, soft breezes, quiet reflection, maybe giving the occasional tour. But lately, it's been less rest in peace and more, surprise, someone's dead again. Good thing I like cozy mysteries. Becoming an amateur detective, or podcast host for that matter, was never on my vision board. Seriously, my plan was straightforward and manageable. Inherit the Garden of Memories Cemetery, keep it looking respectable, fight off the occasional Jimson weed uprising, befriend the leader of the local squirrel mafia. End of goals. Very wholesome, very low drama. And then I tripped over a dead body. Not metaphorically, I mean literally. I stubbed my toe on a corpse. Hello, plot twist. Suddenly, my quiet cemetery job wasn't quiet anymore. I was busy starring in my own murder mystery, complete with suspicious townfolk, shady secrets, and one very nosy cat who insists on supervising everything. Now I'm investigating cold cases, dodging polite threats, and, because why not, recording a podcast about all of it. So welcome to my unintentional second career. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jane, it's a cemetery. Aren't dead bodies kind of the point? Fair. But here's the kicker. The Garden of Memories has been full for over a decade. No new residents, no new drama. So imagine my surprise when I found someone freshly dead. A someone who was very much alive just the day before. And that, my curious friends, was only the beginning. Here's a little secret I haven't told anyone. After that first body showed up, I had to open the old business office. It's been sealed off since my grandfather, Pops, moved operations to the newer wing of the caretaker's cottage. That's where I live now. Yes, my closest neighbors are dead, but they're quiet, so I don't complain. And Rolex, my sweet guard cat, keeps watch for any late night funny business. Lately, business has been booming. During the first murder investigation, yes, first murder, we'll get to that, the cops were crawling all around the place, and I had to dig out the keys to the old office we haven't used in decades. It is a spider's playground. It's where dust motes go to die. And old faded notes remain tacked on the bulletin board. Don't dig near the maple tree. It's all very creepy. It smells of past and secrets and unfinished business. But that's when I found it. A drawer labeled complaints. Now, let me be clear. In the Ladling family, a drawer like that is basically a booby trap. I mean, let's be honest. Complaints are where all the interesting stories like to hide. Naturally, I opened it immediately. Inside, pure chaos, but zero regrets. One letter moaned about the wind blowing out a prayer candle. I moved on since I'm not in charge of the weather, yet. Another letter complained that the headstones were too gloomy and suggested we add a pop of color. What, like graffiti the grounds? But then I found it, tucked under some very official documents. An old death certificate. Paper-clipped to it was a single handwritten word, unconvinced. Cue the creepy shiver. So I kept digging, obviously, and found a dozen obituaries, all lovingly or obsessively annotated in the margins. Notes like, "What doctor approved this?" and "This can't be right." Here's my personal favorite. "No reason for this person to die." Okay, now I'm unconvinced. And then came the final cherry on top. A plain, unmarked envelope. No name, no return address, just one typewritten note. "Start with Chester Lloyd. Check the bake sale." I was right. Oh yes, things are getting good. There's no backing up now. I'm in too deep, and I'm taking you with me all the way to the end. If Chester was murdered, we're gonna find out who did it and why. An inheritance dispute? Revenge? Love gone wrong? Whatever the reason, you might as well grab your shovels. We're about to unbury some secrets, and like our mystery tipster suggested, we're starting with Chester Lloyd. I shoved the drawer closed, then tucked a map of the cemetery in my back pocket. Time to follow the trail. Because sometimes you've got to step out of the filing cabinet and into the dirt if you want real answers. At least, that's what I told myself as I stepped out of the old business office with my keys jingling. History clings to this place. I passed wisteria vines curling down trellises, sturdy old maples, and a magnolia heavy with blooms. The Garden of Memories was established in 1832 after a very scandalous beginning. But that's a tale best saved for a stormy night and a cup of chamomile tea. Each section of the cemetery is divided by hedgerows. Some are yew, some boxwood, but all are excellent at hiding things. The oldest section, Autumn Grove, holds headstones worn smooth by wind, rain, and time. I always brush my fingers across Muffin's nameplate. Every cemetery of old has a first resident, and it is almost always a beloved dog. Legend says the animal spirit stays behind to greet new arrivals, keep them company, and ward off anything uninvited. While I know Muffin is rolling and frolicking in doggy heaven, I can still imagine him here, with his tail wagging while on eternal patrol. I followed Pine Tree Path to Section D, Row 12, Plot 11, and there he was, Chester Lloyd. His headstone looked ordinary at first glance. Gray, granite, tidy lettering, the usual birth-to-death timeline. But then the sunlight caught something strange. At the base, cemented by a whisper, was a broken column. Not a marble like the headstone, No, this was different material, slightly off color, and clearly added later. Previous Ladling caretakers never fussed much over family added flourishes, as long as the riding mower could still squeeze by. So I had no idea when this column was added, but I did know what it meant, according to legends. A broken column was said to mean a life cut short, an unfinished story, except the date said Chester had lived well into his golden years. So why the symbol? A message? A protest? A quiet accusation? Unfinished business doesn't always mean an early death. Sometimes it means the wrong ending. And suddenly, this plot wasn't feeling so peaceful after all. Around the base of the column is a carved rose, but the stem is broken. Another odd symbol. The rose is thought to be life, love, and beauty, but a broken rose stem? Someone's life was severed before it could bloom to fullness. It's Victorian, dramatic, and personal. This wasn't grief carved in stone, it was a message. This cemetery holds hundreds of stories, but Chester's? His tale is clawing its way back to the surface. And his final resting place? Well, it's starting to tell me a story. Thanks for tuning in to Gravely Curious. If you're just as nosy as I am, and honestly, I hope you are, hit that subscribe button to follow every twist, turn, and bake sale revelation. Until next time, remember, being nosy isn't a flaw, it's a calling. And sometimes the complaint drawer holds all the answers.